Shrutismrutipurananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Avavyakta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Okay, repeat as I chant. You don't have that paper still. You have? The first page you still may not have. Vasudevendra Yogindram
Vasudevendra Yogindram
Natva Jnanapradam Gurum
Natva Jnanapradam Gurum
Mumukshunam Hitarthaya
Mumukshunam Hitarthaya
Tattvabodho Vidiyate
Tattvabodha Vidiyate.
So yesterday we started discussing how Vedanta explains the sequence of creation of this universe. Vedanta has the model of 5 elements. So we look upon this universe as created from 5 elements. Akasha, and space, Vayu, air, Agni, fire, Apa, water, Prithvi, earth. Space, air, fire, water and earth. These are 5 elements. And we look upon the universe as created from these 5 elements. Because wherever you look in the gross creation, you will find the presence of these 5 elements. For example, you take this pot. So pot makes noise. Therefore there is element, space in there. Pot can be touched. So element, air is there. Pot has a color and form. So element, fire is there. Pot is a taste. Element, water is there. It is a smell. Element, earth is there. So in all the objects in the universe that we perceive, we see the presence of these 5 elements. That is why we say that the gross objects of the universe are created from a combination of the 5 elements. So it's a very useful model. We also saw yesterday, and we'll see here today also, how this model of 5 elements helps us understand our connection, the connection of the individual and the total. Individual is called Pinda, the individual body-mind complex. The cosmos is called Brahmanda. So Pinda and Brahmanda, individual and total. The microcosm and the macrocosm. So how we are connected to the universe? Through the 5 organs of perception, we receive the stimuli from the universe. Through the organ of perception called the hearing, we receive the stimulus of sound. Through the organ of touch, we experience the touch, and through eyes, color and form, through tongue, the taste, through nose, the smell. So 5 elements and corresponding 5 organs of perception and corresponding 5 organs of action. Organs of perception, we receive the stimuli. The organs of action, we respond with the stimuli. Thus, our interaction with the universe is one of receiving the stimuli and responding to the stimuli. We receive the stimuli with the organs of perception. We respond with the organs of action. 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action, 5 elements, 5 qualities. And that way, this model of the 5 elements is a very practical and useful model to understand the scheme of things. Ultimately, our aim is to show that whatever is Brahman. Whatever is God. This is what we want to show. That's what Vedanta teaches us. Sarvam khalvidam Brahma. Idam. This universe, sarvam idam. All this is indeed Brahman. Call it Brahman. Call it God. Call it Ishvara. What is Ishvara. That's the whole purpose of the description of the creation. For example, there may be a goldsmith who may explain the creation of a chain. The goldsmith may explain how, in the beginning, there was a lump of gold. That became a rod. From that became a thin wire, which was cut into pieces, for which rings were made, and they were joined to become a chain. You follow? So somebody can describe to us that from the lump of gold was created bar, from the bar was created a wire, from the wires were created the rings, from the rings was created the chain. So at every stage, the name and form changes. In the beginning, there is lump of gold, and there is bar of gold. So, bar is a different name, has a different form. A wire of gold, wire is again a different name, different form. Pieces of gold, different name and form. Rings of gold, different name and form. Chain of gold, different name and form. So every stage, the names and forms change. But one fact remains, that at every stage, it is nothing but gold. Whether it is lump, it is bar, it is wire, it is ring, it is chain. The creation of chain passes through these different stages. But the most important thing is, at every stage, it is nothing but gold. It is gold alone which is lump, gold alone which is bar, gold alone which is wire, which is ring, which is chain. And so gold alone assumes different names and forms, and therefore, where there is chain, there is nothing but gold. Similarly, there came another ornament called bangle. You can trace a similar line of evolution, a sequence of evolution as to how a bangle is made. But again, at every stage, it will be nothing but gold. So different ornaments are there. We can say all of this is nothing but gold. Similarly, in the universe, different names and forms are there. We are sentient, the columns are insentient, sentient and insentient, mobile and immobile. Whatever names and forms are there in the universe, Vedanta wants to show that all of that is nothing but Brahman. So we are told, Brahmashaya Maya Asti. Brahman creates the universe with the help of its so-called power called Maya. Then we find that our devatas are associated with that Shakti or powers. So Brahmaji is a creator. Its Shakti or consort is Saraswati. Lord Vishnu is the sustainer. His consort is Lakshmi. Rudra is a destroyer. His consort is Durga. Because to perform any task, you require Shakti or power. So Brahmaji requires Saraswati. Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge. For creating, you require knowledge. So Brahma has the consort Saraswati, with the help of whom he creates. Vishnu sustains the world, protects the world. For that, he requires resources, requires wealth and, So Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. And Rudra requires power to destroy the world. So Durga is that power. Thus, Brahman alone manifests as Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra as creator, sustainer, destroyer. So that's one way of looking at it. Other way of looking at it is Brahman, from Brahman, through Maya, was created space. From that the air, from that the fire, from that the water, from that the earth. Just as we say that from the lump was created bar, from the bar, the wire, from the wire, So what it means is, even though we say that from the lump was created a bar, what it means is that gold, which was formerly a lump, then became a bar. Gold, which was a lump, which was bar, became the wire. Gold, which was lump, which was bar, which was wire, became the rings. Gold, which was lump, which was bar, which was wire, which was ring, became the chain. At every stage, it is nothing but the modification of gold, understand? Similarly, at every stage, it is nothing but the modification of Brahman. So from Brahman evolved space, from space, air, from air, fire, from fire, water, from water, earth. What it means is that Brahman alone manifested as space. Like gold alone manifests as lump, and that alone manifests as bar. Similarly, Brahman alone manifests as space. So Brahman, which manifested as space, further manifested that. Brahman, which manifested as space and air, further manifests as fire. Brahman, which is space and air and fire, further manifests as water. And Brahman, which is space, which is air, which is fire, which is water, finally manifests as earth, right? All along, just as in the creation of chain, all along, at all stages, it is gold alone. Similarly, at all the stages, it is nothing but Brahman alone. So this is what basically Vedanta wants to convey. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. What is Brahman. Sentient and insentient, good, bad or indifferent. Ishavasya Upanishad says, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Idam sarvam, all this is Ishavasyam, is to be pervaded by Lord, meaning that what is nothing but love. Yat kincha. Yat kincha means whatever it is. Whatever is good, bad or indifferent, whatever it is nothing but Ishvara, and Brahman. So we do not have this concept that God is one and Satan is another one. Sometimes God rules, sometimes Satan rules. No. Devatas and Danavas, gods and demons, whatever they are all manifestation of one Ishvara. Ishvara pervades everything. The gold does not object if the ornament is ugly. Or the ornament is well shaped. To gold, it's all the same. Because gold transcends the name and form and pervades the name and form. The gold pervades the name and form called a chain or a bangle. At the same time, the gold transcends the name and form. Similarly, Brahman or Ishvara pervades the entire universe. Same time, transcends the universe. Pervading is called immanent, transcendent. Brahman is both immanent as well as transcending. Pervading as well as transcending everything. Pervading, meaning that is all manifestation of Brahman. Transcending, meaning that the limitations do not touch Brahman. Limitations are all apparent. They do not make Brahman limited. So this is what is basically sought to be conveyed. So here yesterday we saw how from Maya, which has its basis in Brahman, which has its adhisthana in Brahman, came evolved air and then space and then fire and then water and then earth. We also said yesterday when these five elements are first created, they are in their subtle stage. There are two stages, subtle and gross. Gross is that which can be perceived by sense organs. Subtle is that which cannot be perceived by sense organs. For example, this light from the bulb can be called gross because we can perceive it through our eyes. But electricity is subtle because we cannot perceive it through eyes or through any sense organs. So electricity, which is subtle, transforms as light which is gross. You follow? So from subtle to the gross. Similarly, the five elements which are first created are in their subtle state. In the subtle state, the elements are called tanmatras. Tanmatra. Merely that alone, meaning in the pure state. Akasha, space, air, fire, each one of them is tanmatra in its pure state. We also said that since they evolved from Maya, they inherit the qualities of Maya. So Sattva-rajas Tamo Gunatmika Maya Asti. Maya is composed of three gunas, three attributes, three qualities, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Therefore, the five elements which have evolved from Maya also inherit the three qualities, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So in space also we have Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. In air also, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. In fire also, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. In water also, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. In earth also, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So Tattvabodha first describes the creation of the subtle body, the subtle world. Then describe the creation of the gross body. So what does this subtle body consist of? Yesterday we said that within this gross body there is the subtle body. So what imparts life or sentience to this gross body? It is the subtle body. That is why at the time of death, when subtle body departs from this gross body, it becomes lifeless, becomes insentient. We say it is dead. That means that there was something in this body because of which it was sentient, which when departed has become insentient. That is called the subtle body. So, what does subtle body consist of? It consists of 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action, 5 pranas, the mind and the intellect. So first now, the text describes the creation of the Sattvika Amsha, the Sattvika aspect of the 5 elements, the evolution of time. So on the page 29, if you have this handout. Now that's a different thing. Some of you have this. Do they have it there on the table? Are there more copies there?
No. I distributed all of them.
Alright.
That I got, yes. Yeah, those are few of them.
They have 29, no?
So you also may have it in there, the page number will be different, that's all. एतेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां
मध्ये
आकाशस्य सात्विकांशात् श्रोत्रेन्द्रियं सम्भूतम्. So we have now the 5 elements that are created. Space, air, fire, water and earth. Etesham panchatattvanam madhye, among these 5 elements, akashasya sattvikamshat shrotrendriyam sambhutam. So the sattvika aspect of the element akasha, the shrotrendriyam, the organ of perception called the hearing. The organ of hearing is created. So sattva is characterized by knowledge. Rajas is characterized by activity. Tamas is characterized by dullness or inertness or inactivity. Sattva characterized by knowledge. So whenever our mind also enjoys a predominance of sattva, that time the mind is ready for knowledge. It's grasping, it's retaining. All of this is there when the mind enjoys predominance of sattva. When the mind has predominance of rajas, then it is active. Predominance of tamas, it is dull, inactive. The sattva, knowledge, rajas, activity, tamas, dullness, inertness, right? Therefore, from sattva are created the means of knowledge. So in our body, we have these 5 organs of perception. We mentioned them yesterday. Shrotrendriyam, the organ of hearing. Tvagindriyam, the organ of touch. Chakshurindriyam, the organ of eyes of seeing. Rasanendriyam, the organ of rasana of tasting. Ghanendriyam, the organ of smell. These are the 5 organs of perception. What do? They bring us the knowledge of the objects, right? Shrotrendriya, the organ of hearing, brings us the knowledge of sound. Tvagindriyam, the organ of touch, brings us the knowledge of the touch. Chakshurindriyam, eyes bring us the knowledge of colors and forms. Rasanendriyam, the tongue, brings us the knowledge of taste. Ghanendriyam, the nose, brings us the knowledge of Smells. Just to see whether you are awake or not. So this knowledge, these are the organs of knowledge called Jnanendriyani. Indriya, organ. Jnana, knowledge. Jnanendriyani, the organs of perception or the organs of knowledge. Knowledge is there when there is sattva. Therefore it is said that from the sattvika aspect of these five elements, the organs of perception are created. Organs of perception bring us the knowledge of the objects. So knowledge can be there when sattva is there. Therefore, the organs of perception are created from the sattva aspect of the element side. Now we are told here that from the sattva aspect of the element space, Shrotrendriyam, the organ of hearing, is created. So what is the guna? What's the quality of sound, space? Do you remember? What is the quality of space?
Sound.
Sound. So when this organ of hearing is created from the sattva aspect of space, what does it do? It perceives sound. Because space has the quality of sound. Therefore the organ of hearing perceives sound. Then see the next passage. Vayoho Sattvikamsha Vagindriyam
Sambhutam
Vayoho Sattvikamsha. From the Sattvika Amsha or Sattva aspect of Vayu, air is created Vagindriyam, the organ of touch. So touch is the quality of Vayu. And the Indriya made of Vayu also perceives the touch. See the correspondence, Then further. Agnehe Sattvikamsha
Chakshurindriyam Sambhutam.
The Sattvika aspect of the element fire, Chakshurindriyam, the organ of seeing or the organ of sight, the eye is created. So quality of fire is color. The eyes perceive color. Next one. Jalasya Sattvikamsha
Rasanendriyam Sambhutam.
The sattva aspect of element water is created the organ of taste. So rasa means taste. And rasa or taste is the quality of water. Therefore the tongue, which is created from the sattva aspect of water, perceives the quality of water, which is taste. And finally, Prithivyaha Sattvikamsha
Jnanendriyam Sambhutam.
The Sattvika aspect of element earth is created the organ of smell, Jnanendriyam. So the role of the organ of smell is to perceive smell. So space, the quality of sound. So organ of hearing, made of space, perceives sound. Air, the quality is touch. Therefore the organ of touch, which is created from air, perceives touch. Fire has the quality of color. So eyes, which are created from fire, perceive color. Water has the quality of taste. The tongue, which is created from water, perceives taste. Earth has the quality of smell. And therefore the nose, the organ of smell, perceives the smell. So each sense organ perceives the corresponding quality. But eyes cannot perceive sound, understand? Eyes can only perceive color and form. The tongue cannot perceive color. The tongue can perceive taste. The nose cannot perceive taste or color. It can perceive smell. So one sense organ can perceive only one quality of the element from which it is made. Therefore, the organs of perception are called pramana. By the way, pramana means what? The valid means of knowledge. So for the sound, the pramanam, the valid means of knowledge is the organ of hearing. For color, what's the valid means of knowledge?
Eyes.
Eyes. For smell, what's the valid means of knowledge? Nose. So nose can only perceive smell and no other organ can perceive smell. Eyes alone can perceive color, no other organ can perceive color. So eyes are unique in that they perceive color. Nose is unique in that it perceives smell. Tongue is unique, it perceives taste. The ears are unique, they perceive sound. So each organ of perception is the valid means of knowledge, authentic, with reference to its corresponding quality. Then comes the creation of mind. Mind also is inner organ. The organs of perception are outer organs. The mind is inner organ. This is called antahkarana. Antah means inner, karana means organ. Antahkarana, inner organ. They are called bahishkarana. Bahishkarana means the external organs. So the next passage says,
एतेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां समष्टिसात्विकांशात् मनः बुद्धि अहङ्कार चित्त
अंतःकरणानि
सम्भूतानि.
Antahkarana means mind. What we call mind in English is called antahkaranam. Antah means inner. Antahkarana, inner organ. So we have outer organs and we have inner organs. We require both of them for any perception to take place. For example, these words that are being spoken, you have to hear them. When can you hear the words? When two organs are involved. One is outer organ, which is organ of hearing. Other is the inner organ, which is antahkarana. When both of them are involved, then alone perception will take place. In Viditatmananda Upanishad, this passage comes that there is one man, he is an ironsmith. He is working on making an arrow. He is sitting on the roadside and very absorbed in his work. At one point somebody asked him, "Hey, did you see the king with his retinue just passed by here? Did you see them?" He says, "No, I'm sorry, I did not see them because my mind was elsewhere, not in that." You may not have seen it, but they were making so much noise. Did you hear the noise or not? He says, "No, I did not hear the noise because my mind was elsewhere." So sound can be there. Sound can fall on our ears. But if the mind is not behind the ears, then we do not experience sound. Form can fall on the eyes. If the mind is not behind the eyes, then the perception of color or form will not take place. So for perception to take place, not only we require the outer organ, we also require the inner organ. So when The young boy, Ma, where is my shirt? His shirt is in that cupboard. I don't see it. It is there in the middle shelf, in the right corner. I don't see it. Then mother comes, twists the ear, and sure it is right there. It is there, and still I don't see it. Why? Because my mind is elsewhere. That is how you prove the existence of mind. Mind you can't see. But you know that by merely the sense organs of perception does not take place. You also require the participation of mind. So processes. When mind goes out through the gate of the sense organ and contact a given object, that is when the perception takes place. For example, through the aperture called the eyes, the mind goes out and contacts a spot. Then a thought of the form of pot takes place, and that's how I know that this is a pot. It's called a vritti or a thought of the nature of pot, ghatakara vritti, or thought of the form of pot. A thought in the form of rose or flower, thought in the form of the cloth. So only when that vritti takes place, that is when the experience and knowledge takes place. So vritti is in mind, so mind is required and sense organ also is required. So whereas one sense organ can only perceive one color or one object or one quality, the mind perceives all qualities, So sense organ has its area which is very restricted to only one quality. The ears can only perceive sound, eyes can only perceive color, but the mind is involved in perception of sound and touch and color and taste and smell and everything. Therefore, the mind is involved with all sense organs. Therefore, now the next passage says, Etesham
Panchatattvanam Samashti Sattvikamshat
Manobuddhi Ahankara Chittantahkarana is Vibhuta. Therefore, the Samashti Sattvikamshat. So now what we do? We combine the Sattvic aspect, all the elements. From that, the mind is created. So remember that from the Sattvic aspect of individual elements, individual sense organs are created. From the total Sattva aspect, the mind is created. Because mind is associated with every organ of perception. So mind is involved in perception of sound also, touch also, color also, taste also, smell also. Therefore, it must have the Sattvic aspect of all the elements. Because Samashti means totality. From the Sattvic aspect of all the five elements, the mind is created. Antahkarana is created. So this mind in English, Antahkarana in Sanskrit. This Antahkarana or mind performs 4 functions. Therefore, the mind gets 4 designations. Just as a woman, when she is cooking, is called cook. When she is driving, it's called driver. When she is teaching, she is called teacher. When shopping, she is called buyer. How one person gets different names. These are functional names. These names are derived from the function that the person performs. While performing the function of cooking, the person is called cook. While performing the function of driving, the person is called driver. While performing function of teaching, the person is called teacher. While performing function of buying, is called buyer or shopper. Similarly, the mind also performs 4 different kinds of functions. So therefore, the mind gets 4 designations. Just as one woman gets different designations, or one man depending on what function they perform. A man can be called a manager, can be called an athlete playing tennis, it's called a jogger. So different designations are there because of different functions. So the mind performs 4 functions. Therefore the mind has these 4 names: Manaha, Buddhi, Ahankara and Chittam. Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittainaham. When where it comes? It comes in Nirvana Shakti. Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittainaham. Shankaracharya says, I am not the Manaha, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. Who am I? I am the witness. Anyway, so Samasti Sattvikamsat, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chitta Antahkarani Sambhutani. This one Antahkarana, inner organ, is called by 4 names depending upon what function it performs. So mind performs the function of determining pros and cons. Pros and cons. Sankalpa, Vikalpa. Mind also makes a decision. Mind also remembers. And mind asserts I. So these 4 functions are performed by the mind. Therefore the mind gets these functional names. Manaha, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittam. So author explains to us what these 4 functions are. So next passage says, Sankalpa Vikalpatmakam
Sankalpa Vikalpatmakam Manaha
Nishchayatmika Buddhi
Ahankarta Ahankritihi Chintankartru Chittam.
So what is mana? Sankalpa Vikalpatmaka mana. Sankalpa and Vikalpa. Sankalpa means one decision. Vikalpa means opposite decision. One thought, opposite thought. Sometimes we are in doubt. So when you leave home and you started with your car, then a question arises, did I lock the door? Then one part of the mind says, yes, I locked the door. Other part says, wait a minute, you locked yesterday. Did you lock today? No, I am not locked. I have locked Sankalpa, not locked Vikalpa. So like that, perhaps your mind may go through for a few minutes and then you come to the conclusion, no, I have locked the door. I am quite sure that I have locked the door. Or I think I have not locked the door. Then you come back to again see whether you have done or not. So, before making any decision, generally our mind passes through a phase of Sankalpa, Vikalpa. You can say, I want admission in this college, this university. Yes. Says, no, but other university is better, when the location is better. So I will go there. Says, no, but this university offers better courses, so I should go there. He says, no, other university has better faculty, so I should go there. But this university has better campus, I should go there. That one has better natural and setting, I should go there. So like that, before you decide which university you want to join, often the mind goes through this process of vacillation, a process of pros and cons, sankalpa, vikalpa. So that state of mind, when it is going through the sankalpa, vikalpa, is called manaha. So manas or manaha. Mana is one aspect of mind in Sanskrit, in Vedanta. Yeah, there also you sometimes use mana as a mind, total mind. But in this context, mana is one part of the one aspect of mind, which is what? When it's doing the doubt and resolve. Doubt and resolve. Doubt and resolve. Resolve, sankalpa. Vikalpa, doubt. Or the resolve. So, therefore, this text says here that sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha. The manaha, the manas is of the nature of sankalpa and vikalpa. Resolve, decision and doubt. This? No, not that. No, this. No, not that. Then nischayatmika buddhi. As a result of that, you come to a conclusion or a decision that this is what it is, this is what I will do. That stage of nischayatmika, whenever antahkaranam makes a decision or judgment or conclusion, is called buddhi. So buddhi is a deciding faculty, judging faculty. It judges also. This is how this person is. This is how he is. This is how that is. Judgment, conclusion, decision, this is what the buddhi does. So antahkaranam alone is called buddhi. When it makes a judgment, when it makes a decision. Nischayatmika buddhi. Ahankarta, ahankari. What is ahankar? Ahankar is I thought. So the one that's aham, I. That is called the ego. Ego or the ahankar. So just for information, in our mind also there are two faculties. Do you reckon sometimes you recall that you are talking to yourself? Sometimes we talk to ourselves, which is what? One part of the mind talking to the other part of the mind, or we are watching our own self. This thought came, that thought came, this happened. So one part of the mind watching the other part of the mind. That's what we experience very often. So one part is subject, other part is object. One part is I, other part is the rest. So that I thought, the subject thought is called ahankara. And rest is called karanam, antahkaranam. The manaha, buddhi and chittam, they are the karanam, antahkaranam. And ahankara is the I thought or the subject. Subject and object. So one part of the mind is subject. For example, right now you're listening. You can be called a listener, right? I am speaking, I can be called a speaker. So the ahankara. Ahankara assumes different roles depending upon identification. It is the nature of ahankara to identify. So identifying the organ of speech, ahankara says, I am the speaker. Identifying the organ of hearing, ahankara says, I am hearer. I am doer. I am enjoyer. I am speaker. I am hearer. I am seer. I am thinker, I am walker, I am talker, I am good, I am no good, I am successful, I am not successful, I am intelligent. All of these thoughts which involve I, what is that? That is ahankara. Thus ahankara has many forms. Ahankara's nature is to identify with our personality. So whichever aspect of personality identifies, accordingly ahankara gets a different form and designation. So when ahankara identifies with the organ of speaking, it is called speaker. When identified with the organ of hearing, it is called hearer. And when the organ of the eye is called seer. Identified with the legs, it is called walker. Identified with the hands, it is called doer. Identified with the mind, it is called thinker. Identified with the intellect, it is called decider, whatever. So, aham is what? The notion of I. The notion of I also keeps on changing depending upon what you identify with. But ahankara is the notion of I, individuality, which separates me from everybody else. So basically what creates division is ahankara. Because in I, the you-ness is not there at all, I excludes you. Remember when I say I, none of you has a place in the I thought, none of you is there. That I excludes everything else. So I creates division, it excludes everything. And therefore, poor fellow suffers from a sense of isolation. On one hand, you assert yourself, this is I. But by doing that, you are excluding everything else. And that way, you are creating for yourself an isolation. For example, when you say this is my house, automatically it means that other houses are not mine. And that way, I have isolated myself. Similarly, when I say, I am so and so, that I does not include anybody other than me or outside this body. And therefore, by doing that, the ahankara isolates itself. Therefore, we suffer from a sense of isolation. Stronger the ahankara is, stronger the identification is, more intense is the sense of isolation. Remember, it is ahankara which is subject matter of Vedanta. This is the samsari. This is a fellow who is happy, unhappy, sad. This is where all the problems are. And this is where Vedanta says, hey, you are Brahman. What one looks upon as ahankara, you are not ahankara. You are not an individual little creature. You are Brahman. You are limitless. So who is told? Ahankara is told. The body has no problem. Buddhi has no problem. Manas has no problem. Chittam has no problem. The ahankara is the problem. Ahankara is the notion of I, arising from identification with our body-mind complex. So personality consists of the body and the mind, sense organs. It is nature of ahankara to identify with this and proclaim a sense of individuality, a sense of limitation. In sense of individuality, limitation automatically involved, is it not so? Because I am only this and nothing else. So when I proclaim I am a very learned person, then I am not anything else. I am rich means I am not poor. I am king means I am not anything else. The ahankara suffers from a sense of limitation and It is all complexes. All problems are centered upon ahankara or I. If I does not come into picture, there is no problem. When I comes into picture, there is I and mine. So when my son does something, I am affected, otherwise I am not affected. In India, the Gujaratis are feeling very proud nowadays, Our man will become the Prime Minister. So they think anyway. Still the 16th will really tell us what it is. So Gujaratis are very proud. And they are around the world. They are all very intently watching, what's happening in India, and watching the TV and all the reports and discussions. So ours, I and mine. This poor ahankara suffers from a sense of limitation, sense of isolation. And it is limited because it is identified with the limited body, limited mind. Therefore, it suffers from a sense of limitation because of identification. So it is the nature of ahankara to identify habitually. Identify with the body. Then call myself a man or woman, short or tall, dark or fair. Complex. Each one of them is called complex. And that is the state of ahankara. In every complex, a sense of limitation is always involved. Even when I am successful, still I am limited. Because I exclude what is not successful. I am failure, of course I am limited. So ahankara means sense of limitation. Identify the body, it says, I am mortal. I was born, I will die. What is born? The body is born. What does ahankara say? I was born. What is born is body. What is die? Body will die. So I am going to die. I am mortal. Limited in time. I did not exist before a certain time. I will not exist after a certain time. Limited in place. I am in one place at one time, not in another place. Ahankara keenly experiences the sense of limitation. Limitation in time, limitation in place, limitation in attributes. Only this much, nothing else. So even when I say I am a learned person, still I am not other than learned. I exclude others. I am a rich man, I exclude the poor. Poor person, exclude the rich. So the ahankarta, one whose nature is to assert I. The poor fellow feels that by asserting I am safe and I am secure, not realizing asserting itself makes him insecure. So ahankarta, ahankriti and fourth is called chittam. So chintan karta chittam. What is chittam? Is a thinking process. Chintan kartru. Or it is called memory. So the mind performs a fourth function called remembering. That is called chittam. So chittam remembers, chittam also thinks. So then when we are sitting and deliberating on something, thinking about that, it's called chittam. And so chittam studies Vedanta, deliberates upon it. Buddhist studies. Chittam thinks. So the thinking process is carried out in chittam and the remembering process also. So mind performs these four functions. Manaha, buddhi, ahankara, chittam. Remember this. One mind is there, but because it performs four functions, therefore it gets four designations. every function there is, we require the grace of God. You can think when grace of God is there. You can remember when grace of God is there. You can decide when grace of God is there. So all these functions are possible when we enjoy the grace of Ishvara. Therefore, God or Ishvara is looked upon as considered many devatas. One Ishvara manifests as many devatas. So either you say that a presiding deity is there, or Ishvara in that form is there, whose grace we require for performing that particular function. So now, the next passage is talk about the presiding deity. Manaso devata chandramaha
Manaso devata chandramaha
buddhe brahma
buddhir brahma
ahankarasya rudraha
ahankarasya rudraha
chittasya vasudevaha
chittasya vasudevah
Manaso devata chandramaha. Chandramaha means moon. Moon is the presiding deity of the function called manaha. See, moon is always waxing and waning. Moon is constantly changing. Manas also constantly changes. This, not that. This one, not that one. So, that figure is called manaha. Changing, uncertain, chanchalam, restless. That's how the moon is. So moon is the presiding deity of the function called manaha. Ishvara in the form of moon blesses us, then alone the function of manas is possible. Buddhe Brahma. Buddhe Devata Brahma. The presiding deity of Buddhi. What is Buddhi? What does Buddhi do? What does it do?
It makes the right
Deciding
decision.
faculty.
Makes a decision, right or wrong, makes a decision. Nischayatmika Buddhi. So one whose nature it is to make a decision or judgment or conclusion is called Buddhi. So the presiding Buddhi is Brahma. Brahma is the creator. Brahma also is called Hiranyagarbha. And our sun symbolizes Hiranyagarbha. Sun is the deity of light, deity of knowledge, deity of brightness. Hiranyagarbha also is the deity of knowledge, brightness, creation. So Brahma is said to be the presiding deity of the faculty called Buddhi. Ahankarasya Rudraha. Rudra is a destroyer, Ahankara is a destroyer. You must have heard the story of the demon. His name was Bhasmasura. Demon Bhasmasura. This fellow, this demon must perform penance and pleased Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva appeared before him. Says, what do you want? He says, I want to immortalize. I'm sorry, that you cannot be. All right. I want the power that wherever I touch, that turns into ash. My hand, on whichever hair I place my hand, that entity turns into ash. So he wanted that power so he can destroy everybody. Lord Shiva says, okay. So Lord Shiva gave him the boon and started walking away. The demon says, oh Lord, wait a minute. So now what do you want? He says, wait, I will try whether your boon works or not. Let me place my hand on your head. Lord Shiva says, hey, Lord Shiva started running. Bhasmasura is running behind him. So whenever Lord Shiva is in trouble, the Lord Vishnu comes to rescue him. So then Lord Vishnu came to know this. So then Lord Vishnu appeared in the form of Mohini, that beautiful form of woman. And Bhasmasura is enchanted by it. So he stopped chasing Shiva and he was now after this woman. He wanted to get married to her. He says, well, but I get married to only person who knows dancing. Do you know dancing? He says, no. But I will learn. So you teach me. She says, look, I will teach you dancing. So he started teaching dancing in different poses. At one point she placed her hand on her head. He also did that. And then he was gone. This is Bhasmasura. Who is Bhasmasura? Bhasma means ash. Bhasmasura means the one who turns, wherever he touches, turns into ash. Ahankara is Bhasmasura. Wherever Ahankara touches, it turns into ash. So Rudra is a destroyer. So Rudra, the destroyer, is the presiding deity of Ahankara. The Ahankara destroys. And finally, Chittasya Devata Vasudeva. The presiding deity of function called Chittam is Vasudeva. Vasudeva is Lord Vishnu. So Rudra is destroyer, Brahma is creator, Vishnu is preserver. So creator, destroyer and preserver. So Chittam. So for thinking or contemplation or deliberation, you require sattvic, you require sattva. So Vasudeva, who is the deity of sattva, is the presiding deity of Chittam. So Manaha, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittam. That is the presiding deity. Okay, I think we will stop here. And before we close, any questions you have?
Swamiji, so that's why we do Vishnu Sahasranam for Chitta?
No, Vishnu Sahasranam we do as a prayer to Lord Vishnu to get His grace. Not only Chitta, but for everything. Rudram. So we chant Rudram, not for destruction, but to be saved from destruction. So we chant Rudram. Rudra also stands for anger and destruction. So we chant Rudram to become free from anger, free from destruction. We want His grace.
The mind, Swamiji, is that what you're saying? That the mind is freed from this destruction, because the mind destroys us, basically.
Mind can destroy us and mind can create us. The mind can help or mind can hurt us. If the mind is under control of ragadveshas, then it is our enemy. Mind is free from the influence of ragadvesha, it is our friend. So Bhagavad Gita says, Atmaya Hyatmana Bandhu, Atmaya Ripuha Atmana. Our own self is our friend, our own self can be enemy.
Swamiji, that anahat, is it the sattva aspect of Akasha?
Huh?
Is anahat sound?
Anahat
the
sound.
sattvic aspect of Akasha?
Yeah, anahat sound is subtle sound. Yeah. You can say it is sattvic aspect of Akasha.
So that means, Swamiji, any prayer we do, actually, we are just asking for Lord's grace.
Any prayer we do, we ask for the grace. Grace of Ishvara.
Swamiji, yesterday we were discussing was Sukshma body and gross body. And then, it's been ever since yesterday, it's been stuck in my mind. You said when the Sukshma body leaves a person, the person is dead, right? And then Sukshma body goes to somebody else's body. Now, what about the karmas that person who does, who the Sukshma body leaves it? What about the karma the person does? Who is accounted for? how come we say next last janam, this one thing happened and then you carry on next janam? If the Sukshma body goes in another body, who takes account of the karma, what the person did in the lifetime?
All the karma go along with Sukshma body, Sukshma Sarira. So whenever we perform any karma, its impression is there in the Sukshma Sarira, in the mind. So every karma leaves its mark. It's noted in the mind. So all the karma, all our vasanas, all our papa, all our punya, all our gains, all of this is recorded in Sukshma Sarira and it goes along with Sukshma Sarira. Therefore when we are born with all this baggage which we are bringing from the past.
Okay, but that Sukshma body goes to somebody else's body.
Somebody else, no. It goes to a new body. Not somebody else's body, new body. Which it acquires for itself.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. I've been thinking it was yesterday.
Not somebody else's, its own body. It acquires a new body. Just as you leave one home and go to another house, So you don't go to somebody else's house. You go to your own house, which you have now acquired. This house you have given up, you acquire another house, that's where you go. Then take all the baggage with you, then you go to the next house. So also this fellow takes all the baggage. So Sarira takes all the baggage from here and then goes to the new embodiment with the baggage.
Another question that comes to mind. While this Sukshma body, when the person is dead, by the time he comes with a new body, what happens to the Sukshma body?
Sukshma body immediately gets a new body. It leaves here and gets a new body. New body can be on this earth, it can be in heaven, it can be in hell, it can be Pitraloka, it can be anywhere, depending on karma.
A new body could be human or could be
Could be anything,
anything.
depending on the karma.
So Swamiji, you know how they say that you get the blessings of your ancestors? I could never understand that. If your soul has passed, right? And everything is gone, like it's moved on the soul. So how can there be a blessing of something? Your ancestors were the ones who blessed you, right? They're gone. So how do you get blessings from them?
Well, our belief is that these ancestors depart from here and go to Pitraloka, the world of means, which is where they are.
The world of?
Pitraloka. The Swargaloka where all devatas are there. Pitraloka where the ancestors are there. So they can bless from there.
But the ancestors are, it's the soul that's gone, right? The body
Yes. Body no.
disappeared.
It acquires another body there. In every loka you have a body. Fit for that loka. So this body is not fit for Pitraloka. So leave it here and acquire another body fit for Pitraloka. You remain there for as long as your karma is there, then again you may come back to human birth.
That makes sense to me, Swamiji, because I'm an ancestor. Like, I'm probably somebody's ancestor, but now I've taken the body in this lifetime. So I'm not understanding what you're trying to say is that it goes to Pitru Loka. Is it because according to the karmas that it's goes
According to karma. So we imagine that since these people have performed good karmas, in the olden days, in the Vedic times, everybody was supposed to perform Vedic rituals. If you perform Vedic rituals, you qualify to go to Pitraloka. Perform meditation on Devatas, you qualify to go to Swargaloka. So depending upon the punya karma that you have done, you qualify for Pitraloka, Swargaloka, etc. Then you remain there as long as your karmas last. Karmas are exhausted, come back, and start as a human being.
So when we say, Swamiji, that your soul goes directly into a body, that means it could have gone to Pitraloka?
Also, yes. Pitraloka, Swargaloka, anywhere. Or Prithviloka also, possible.
So when we do Shraddha Puja, Swamiji,
Shraddha
is doing appeasing to those souls.
Yeah. With the belief that they are in the Pitraloka.
On the belief.
So therefore we think that they live there for 3 generations. So when they perform Shraddha, they offer the Pinda
Yes, to 3.
to 3 generations, of father and mother, both sides. So they live there that long, that's what we believe. Afterwards, they may continue with their journey.
So there's no chance of us going because we're not doing Vedic rituals.
Hmm?
There's no chance of us going, Swamiji.
Why not?
Because we're not doing Vedic rituals.
Doesn't matter. We are doing good karma. Now Vedic rituals are replaced by other rituals. You have puja in your room. That's also okay. Vedic rituals are meant for worshipping devatas. Now we are worshipping devatas in a different way. As long as worship is there in your life, so long you qualify.
Worship doesn't have to be necessarily sitting down and praying, right? Worship doesn't necessarily have to be in the form of prayer, does it?
It has to be in some form.
Could be form of an action also?
Yeah, worship is a spirit, attitude. So you can perform the ordinary action also with the attitude of worship. You could. But it's easier to perform worship in your puja room, etc., when your mind is less disturbed. But yes, any action that you perform with the spirit of worship, it becomes a worship.
Now, I used to sit in my puja room and do puja. I find that little difficult now. I find I'll start chanting something in my mind. Maybe I'm working, maybe I'm going for a walk, whatever. But it's when I'm doing something and I forget I'm doing that particular chore or work or whatever it is, and my mind starts praying. So is it still okay if I'm not sitting in one place and doing it?
It is okay, but it's diluted to some extent. Because you are doing something and then also praying, so the prayer is diluted. So it will have some effect. But it will have more effect if you do it sitting, then you are more focused. You give quality time. When you sit and do, you are giving quality time. If you are doing along with other things, you are giving a diluted time. So you can do both. It's not that if you are doing while working, then you should not do while sitting. You can do both.
Yeah, what I was really trying to say is, I might be working. It's not that I think, oh, I'm going to pray now. It automatically happens. So it's still diluted.
Because your attention is not totally focused on that. Your attention is divided in what you are doing and then when you are praying. In that sense, it is diluted.
But Swamiji, when you sit in the puja room and your mind goes somewhere, before that, then goes different things which you never thought about them, they come. But should be, that.
You should still continue to do that. And the mind goes back, bring it back. Goes away, bring it back here.
Swamiji, I thought I know, but today I am really confused that I thought when you do karmas, you get another life and the Suksham Sharira goes with you according to you get it. But this Pitraloka thing is new to me. I don't know that from here, according to Suksham Sharira, I know we take another janma anywhere, good or bad, whatever, that was clarity. But this thing has confused me. From where would I go? Pitraloka? What is Pitraloka?
You see, there are different realms or words. Huhu, bhuvaha, suvaha, maha, jana, tapaha, satyam. So depending upon the punya karma that you earn, you may come back to this world, or go bhuva, pitraloka, So Svargaloka, another further Svarga, the heavens are there. And so depending upon what kind of karma you perform, you go to any one of those realms.
So what is Pitraloka like? What is there? Is it
Pitraloka is a loka where you get a lot of joy, happiness because of the lots of...
As a soul?
As a soul.
And we don't have a body. So
No, you have body suitable for Pitraloka.
we will have a body according to the Pitraloka. So
Suitable.
what kind of thing is that one? I don't know.
See, for example, when you are dreaming,
Uh-huh.
you have a dream body. You are experiencing dream world.
Okay.
So there is Pitraloka like that, where there is predominance of happiness, predominance of joy, of objects.
Oh, I see.
So as you go to higher loka, the extent of your enjoyment increases. So more punya karma, more enjoyment after this life. Until punya karma lasts.
Merging with the Lord, like you are. I understand that in the dream you don't have a body, but you are thinking that whatever the dream is coming. Same way when somebody goes to Pitraloka, you have it that whatever good karmas are done, and the body is there according to that one where other people, other souls, good souls. So that will be some people like who are big saints, like not our kind of things.
No, as I said,
That must be like people who are high, like Vivekananda, Ramakrishna, or somebody. They might be going. But
so there are so many levels are there.
yeah,
Pitraloka is one level,
yeah.
another level, third level, fourth level, fifth level,
Mhm.
So depending upon your karma,
Yes.
you go to different levels, where there is increasing degree of happiness.
And then you come back again into
When you
this.
exhausted your karma, then you come back here.
So then, Swamiji, that means that to gain moksha, it's only ultimately the human body, then not any of these lokas.
Not any of these lokas, right.
So then there's no point in even desiring that, because if my goal is moksha,
No
then
point in desiring.
no
right.
point in desiring the other lokas.
Correct?
So if I pray, what do they call
So
shrat?
then again when you come back here, only then you can exhaust your karmas only on this earth.
Good and bad.
There you are enjoying.
Then you are exhausting your karma. You can
Exhausting
do
your
new
karma.
karma when you come here. You don't do new karma there.
No.
Whatever karma you have accumulated, you enjoy the results of that
Enjoying there, okay.
and come back to start again.
So Swamiji, when you're having good karma or bad karma, and you've enjoyed them over there, and you come as a clean
scale
slate,
one.
let's say,
Yes, later.
clean slate, then why do you have these varying sukh and dukh? Because
Not totally clean slate. A combination of papa punya brings you here. Predominance of punya karma takes you up. Predominance of papa karma takes you down. Then a balance of punya papa brings you here. So you have happiness and unhappiness both.
Always in human form, or it could be anything?
You can come back here as anything also. If papa karma is there, predominantly you can go to animals and other yonis also. Exhaust the karma and come back as a human being.
I think Swamiji mentioned in last night's lecture about that a person that is a serial killer, that doesn't have the conscience, would come back in his next life as a lower form, so an animal that has that, because there's no...
There is no sensitivity.
yeah.
Actually, I did think of that also yesterday when you said it. And you said at that time when he has no moral compass, when he has no guilty feeling, and he said guilt is actually a blessing. So if he has, and at that moment in time, when he has no moral compass and he has no guilt, at that time he is animal-like, is he not?
Yes.
So does he necessarily have to go to his next life to become an animal? Is he not an animal in this life itself at that moment in time?
But then with the karma that he is performing, he has to experience result as an animal.
But at that moment of time, he is experiencing...
So here is mentally animal, there is physically animal.
Swamiji, how do you exhaust your karmas in Svargaloka?
by experiencing happiness, joy of all the objects that you get in Swargaloka.
Swami, that
But
reminds
is it
me.
Like
necessary
going to
that you
five-star
have,
hotel,
is it necessary that you will exhaust your
Even
karmas?
the 5 stars.
slowly. What is it?
Is it necessary that you will exhaust your karmas?
Yeah.
That's why you've gone there. Why do you go to Hawaii?
Okay, so it's just a temporary.
Yeah.
Vacation.
Vacation.
So you have to that's the way the process is, that you are having good karma, then you go to Vidaloka. That's
Or even higher loka also.
high loka, so whatever, yeah. And then you come, that's the way it has to
You
be.
didn't have enough.
You do Papa Karma, you go to lower loka and then come back. Then you experience pain according to the amount of Papa that has been done. And having exhausted, come back as human form.
Swami, there's exactly a film defending your life. I saw it, it was fascinating. A person leaves the earth, goes up there, and there's a huge big screen and there are cubicles. And there's a prosecutor and there's a lawyer. And this they show right from your childhood up to the day you went up there. And the prosecutor, he said, you did this, Dad, you did this in art, and our pictures are there. This is a very interesting movie. And then judge is there, it's in the court. And then they decided where that person should go. They say, talking about lokas, that reminds me of, that's true, isn't it?
Right?
So what you do is there. Fascinating.
So actually going back to today's, what we discussed, and I understand when you talk about a mind where there's decision and doubt, because we experience it all the time. I'm a little confused about the decision as nature of the intellect, and at the same time you said it could be right and wrong decision too.
Decision is decision. It could be right or wrong.
But the thing is, Swamiji, I've known intellect to be something where it's your conscience which always tells you the right thing. When you're doing something.
Not necessarily.
No. So what is that inner
A
voice?
thief's conscience tells him to perform his
So
effect.
what is that inner voice which you know ultimately whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing?
Inner voice can be sattvic voice, rajasic voice, tamasic voice, depending on your personality. Inner voice is not always right.
Okay. I always thought that the intellect was the one that was the inner voice that always said this is wrong or this is right.
No, but everybody is making decisions. When you make a decision of investing money in stock market, it's a decision. It may not be right. It's a decision.
So it's based on vasanas. Your intellect is based on the vasanas and the personality that you have.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
So quality of decision will depend upon your
So
personality.
it's not right or it's not wrong. It's just a decision.
Decision, right. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense now, Swamiji.
Sorry, Swamiji, I have to come back to this Shraddha thing.
We have done enough of Shraddha now.
Sorry, one small clarification. Space, you said, is one quality in that sound. Can you just clarify for me? I'm just struggling with that. What is sound?
Sound is what this word, that sound that you hear. The words,
On this
sound means anything. These words also are sound.
So hearing.
Not hearing. The birds also make a sound, any kind of sound.
And Swamiji, he said Chittam Vasudeva. I can connect like mind and Chandama, sun, moon. But how is Chittam and Vasudeva, please?
Vasudeva is sattvic,
Okay.
devata of sattva. And Chittam for contemplation or thinking also requires sattvic disposition. For inquiring, etc. Pursuit of knowledge.
So, since Swamiji, then you said the deity of the mind is Chandrama. So is that why we have full moon, where the mind is
Yes.
constantly.
Yeah.
I know was it full moon yesterday, Swamiji?
Tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
That's what
I think
Wednesday,
on Sunday
tomorrow.
I thought
Tomorrow
it was
is-
probably full moon on Sunday because
Wednesday.
it was the worst day for me. So obviously it does play. So then it's very good, Swamiji, then to get the blessings of Chandrama, when you know that you have those traits or those qualities coming to you, then maybe get the blessings to say, give me the sort of balance or, so seek
That
those
is
blessings.
why you worship Chandra.
Yeah.
And all the lunatic asylums, they know which date. So the full moon is coming and they are very careful, because that affects the people.
Yeah, it-
Some minds are more sensitive, maybe more affected.
Yeah.
Some other mind may not be that sensitive, may not be affected. But some effect is always there of the moon on the mind.
Swamiji,
That's
there
why the
are,
whole
what you
belief
say,
to
that
go
when
up
we
with
die,
the sea.
13 days which is Terma, after Terma,
Is death enough of discussion of this death?
please.
then
Let's
another life comes.
बहुत हो गया अभी ये।
Both of
We need to worry about here and now.
Yeah.
Here and now.
Swamiji, one quick question. And when you were talking of Bhagavad Gita, we were talking about ahimsa, and we were trying to distinguish between vegetarian and non-vegetarian. I know for argument's sake, you'll say that vegetarian eating trees and plants is also a part of violence. But how can it be? Because when you get fruits, the fruits are there. They're gonna fall and rot. But if you take it and eat it, how can that be violence?
Minimum violence.
Minimum.
You know.
But still, it's the
That
fruits
is
are
why
there.
there were sages who only ate what fell down from the tree.
Okay.
So
Even
they
the
would not even
vegetables.
pluck them.
No, it's plucked. Because it's there for you to eat, that's why the fruits are there,
Yeah.
and the vegetables.
That's why minimum violence, or no violence also.
There is no violence.
In some cases, like grains, perhaps the plant gets destroyed when you.
Yes.
But in some cases, in case of fruits, etc., nothing gets destroyed. Then it involves minimum violence. But there is life in that fruit also.
Yes, but the fruits, isn't that meant for humans' consumption? I mean, because we have to survive on something.
I know, but that's why you are consuming something live. We always consume something live. You don't eat rocks and stuff like that. The dead things, lifeless things you don't eat.
Oh, yeah, so that's
That is why sattvic food,
live food and dead food, yeah.
sattvic food is where maximum life is there. So when you eat something which is fresh, as it is without cooking, raw, that is most sattvic. Life is the maximum. If you cook, the life slowly and slowly ebbs away. And you can cook to such an extent that hardly anything is left in there, life. So even though the animal is dead, the flesh still is alive. You don't eat that thing. Flesh is alive. So there also we keep for a long time, then the life would be affected, no doubt about that. But we don't eat anything dead. We also say you are eating dead animal. We are not eating dead. Animal may be dead, but the flesh is not dead. Alright, so we'll conclude here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om
Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakrutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururapneti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri